So recently I've been testing the QuartzLine ND filters from Polar Pro, and I've been really impressed with them. But I wanted to share some of the things that I found about them and some of the things that I think you might be interested in as a viewer of what you should look for in an ND filter and why I think these are the best ND filters for long exposure photography, especially for landscape photographers. So I wanted to do a couple different things in this video. Number one is talk about some of the features very quickly, because we don't necessarily care about all of the features. Yeah, some of them are cool, but really photographers want to know, does the product actually work? So we're going to go in the field after we quickly run through some of these very important features for the Polar Pro ND filters. Number one, they come really well packaged in these Polar Pro little sleeves. They have the name of the filter at the top, which I like because a lot of my filters, I get lost and jumbled in their different compartments, and I'm like, is this my polarizer? Is this my ND filter? Which ND filter is this? This will specifically tell you which ND filter it is. Also has the name on the hard case at the bottom, so you can easily pair these up. Very well done cases, very durable. Also comes with a little lens cleaning cloth that you can use to clean it off when it gets dirty, like mine do all the time. The filter itself is very well packaged in the case. I love the look of it, durability. I've stepped on this so many times, it's not even funny, and it hasn't broken like my other cases for my filters have broken. The filter itself looks and feels tremendous. This is a very well built product. The brass ring on the outside is very durable, easily screws onto the end of your lens, has a great coating on it. Let's run through some of these features very fast.
The QuartzLine filters from Polar Pro have a very good brass frame that's very durable, fused quartz glass element, perfect color neutrality, 16 coating layers, a lifetime warranty, a strain point of 2048 degrees Fahrenheit for all of you who are shooting on the surface of the sun, anti-reflection, anti-water, anti-oil, hydrophobic coatings, optical ND coatings, scratch-resistant coatings, a low refractive index, and low surface reflectability.
As a landscape photographer, all of these things are great for me. You know, I'm good with the weather resistance. I'm good with the anti-water, not getting the water droplets all over the lens all the time. All these things are great, but what I'm most concerned about in an ND filter or any filter of any kind is how it affects the color and the light. So one of the things that I love to do is manipulate light and actually manipulate time, and using an ND filter is a great way to do that. Lengthening your exposure, shooting really long exposures and warping the timing as we know it in photography, really stretching my exposures, so like 1 to 2 minutes, really lengthening those out to show you what the world can look like if you show it with streaked motion, showing still objects against moving objects, really revealing a lot of contrast. But I'm also really concerned with color and what kind of color this can produce, because a lot of filters have the stigma and reputation of altering your colors when you use them, or showing a different tint or a hue to the landscape. You have to adjust this in post-processing or even in camera with your white balance. What I loved about the Polar Pro ND filters is that they didn't do this. I didn't notice any color alterations when I was using these, so I didn't have to go back in post-processing and really fix the tint or the hue or the temperature of any photo. It really complemented the settings that were going on in my camera extremely well, and that allows me to rely on these when I'm in the field shooting and not doubt what I'm seeing in my camera. These produce very good images, but producing images is the main part of why you want an ND filter. So let's go out in the field and see exactly how to use these and how they can benefit your photography. You know, typically I try to come out and shoot when there are some clouds in the skies, you get some streaking with filters, but obviously that's not gonna happen today. We can still use the filters that we have. Here's some examples of doing that. Streaking clouds with these ND filters, really lengthening your exposures and shooting some really interesting concepts using some long exposures. But I found this storage barn behind me on the water that has all these little paddle boats and things in it. I thought it would be a great opportunity to use the 64 ND filter with a polarizer on it. So that's the kind of shot we're gonna be setting up. So what I love about these is that they're really easy to just put on the end of your lens whenever you get the lens thread on here, and you just take it out. And it's really easy just to find those lens threads and then just screw this on. You know, we're using an ND plus a circular polarizer for this. So all you really have to do to get this shot, really simple, is just set up your composition. And what I'm gonna try to do is use the ND filter to lengthen the exposure and really smooth out that reflection. But I'm also gonna spin the polarizer and get a good reflection off of this. You know, a lot of times with like waterfalls or something, you try to reduce the glare on the water to see through that and get some interesting foregrounds. But for this shot, I'm trying to add some reflection here with the polarizer on the Polar Pro ND filter and see how it works. So basically, to set this up, getting my exposure right, my composition, making sure that all looks good, just right on the edge of the bank here, try to free up some of that water space. And then I'm just going to adjust my circular polarizer on the end of this ND to get that reflection. And then I'm going to adjust my exposure to 2.5 seconds, f16, and then an ISO of 100 to get the shot dialed in and my exposure dialed in. I'm just gonna set it up on a 2-second timer and stand back and wait for this to finish up. But unfortunately, what I've found is that the reflection off of this barn is a little bit too bright. So what I'm gonna do is actually stack these two together and use a longer exposure here. So I'm just gonna take this other filter off and attach it to the 10-stop ND filter. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy about these Polar Pro ND filters and QuartzLine filters is that they have threads on all of their filters as well. This is gonna allow me to get more creative about my photos, stack these lenses together and get a better, longer exposure to really flatten out the water and get a good, sturdy reflection on that without any like waves going on in the foreground. Now, since I'm stacking these together, I really don't think 30 seconds is gonna do it. So what I'm gonna do is attach a remote shutter, and I'm going to adjust my camera to a bulb mode exposure. This is gonna tell me that as long as I have the shutter and hold locked on this remote shutter, the exposure is gonna continue to go. So I'm gonna set up a timer on my phone, and I'm gonna time this out at 1:30. So as soon as I start this timer, I'm gonna lock this exposure hold down. You know, since this may take a while, let's show some cool B-roll from this place. Two, one. All right, let's check it out. All right, guys, here's the finished product of this photo. As you can see, it did a really good job of lengthening that exposure, smoothing out the water, and putting a great reflection on this without altering the colors. Like, this is a great yellow and blue color that you can use together, and you don't have to worry about the colors changing using these two filters from Polar Pro. Again, these are the QuartzLine filters. Fantastic. I've been using them for a few weeks now, and I really enjoy how they make my images look. I really enjoy the creativity they give me as an outdoor photographer, really lengthening exposures. So I've been really impressed with these filters. I highly recommend them. Again, they're linked below in the video description if you guys want to check that out and go see them for yourselves, see if they work for your photography. I think they would be a great benefit for everybody's photography. not just mine. Hey guys, if you liked this video or you found it useful at all, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Don't be shy. No one's gonna see you did it. Also comment below if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help you guys out with answering those, and subscribe to this channel so you can get more videos on how you can improve your landscape photography. As for me, I've shot sunrise, I've done the whole thing today. I'm going to get coffee. I'll see you later.